The wind howled like a warning that afternoon, brushing through the tall grass as the sky above the hill darkened slightly despite it being only 3 o'clock. 11-year-old Emily grasped her younger brother Jacob's hand tightly as they reached the top of the hill behind their house, a place they had often called their secret world. They loved the quiet up there, the view of their small town below, and the way the breeze felt like freedom itself. But today, something felt different. Heavier. As if the hill was hiding something. "We shouldn't go too far," Emily said, brushing her brown hair out of her face. "Dad said not to wander near the woods." Jacob, just 8 years old, grinned playfully. "Come on, Em. Let's see if the treehouse is still standing." Emily gave in, as always. He was her little brother, her shadow, her best friend since the day he was born. They had been through everything together, moving towns, starting new schools, even losing their grandmother last fall. He was her sunshine, and she was his protector. They ran deeper toward the edge of the woods that curled around the hill like a sleeping beast. Laughter echoed as they chased each other around bushes and old logs. For a moment, the world was simple again. Then, the scream. It pierced the silence like a thunderclap. Emily turned around to see Jacob on the ground, a look of horror on his face. At first, she didn't understand, then she saw it. A monstrous anaconda, thick as a tire and long as a car, was slithering around Jacob, its massive body coiling tighter by the second. Its eyes glistened like cold stones, and its tongue flickered with hunger. The world stopped spinning. Time froze. "Jacob!" Emily shrieked, rushing forward without thinking. The snake had already wrapped its thick, scaly body around her brother's torso. Jacob gasped, choking as pressure crushed his ribs. Emily's heart pounded so hard it felt like it would crack her chest open. "Help! Somebody help!" She screamed, her voice raw with panic. But there was no one. No hikers. No neighbors. No parents. Just trees and wind and the hill, watching in silence. She looked around desperately. She tried pulling the snake's body, but it was like trying to move stone. Her hands bled from the effort. Jacob's face was turning red. Tears streamed down her cheeks. Then she saw it. A broken old saw, half buried in the dirt near a fallen tree. It must have been from the workers who cleared the trail last summer. The blade was rusty, the handle splintered, but it was something. Emily lunged for it, cutting her palm as she grabbed it. With no time to think, she returned to the snake and began slashing. Again and again. The blade dug into the anaconda's skin. The monster hissed and thrashed, trying to protect itself. She didn't stop. Even when her arms ached. Even when the blade slipped and cut her own leg. Even when Jacob stopped moving. She kept going. "Let him go!" She screamed with the fury of a storm. "He's my brother!" The snake finally loosened, its body jerking one last time before it slithered away into the woods, wounded and defeated. Emily dropped the saw and fell to her knees beside Jacob. He wasn't moving. "Jacob, please, please open your eyes," she whispered, her voice trembling. "I didn't save you just to lose you." Then, a small cough. A weak blink. Jacob slowly opened his eyes. You did it," he whispered faintly. Emily sobbed and held him, both of them shaking and stained with dirt and blood. And then, voices. "Emily! Jacob!" Their parents came running, out of breath and wild-eyed. They had seen the hill from afar and sensed something was wrong when they noticed the time. Their mother dropped to the ground and held them both. Their father picked Jacob up carefully, tears in his eyes. It took days for the children to fully recover. Jacob had broken ribs, and Emily needed stitches. But they survived. Together. Everyone in town heard the story. Some called it unbelievable. Others called it a miracle. But for Emily and Jacob, it was just proof of one thing. Love gives you strength you never knew you had. Emily didn't think of herself as a hero. She just knew that when her brother needed her, she had done whatever it took. No fear. No hesitation. Just love. The hill still stands, but they never played there again. Not because they were afraid, but because they had learned that life is precious, and sometimes, your strongest battles are fought in silence, far from the eyes of the world. And the message they carried forever was simple. Be brave, be strong, and when the world turns dark, be the light for someone you love.